It feel like for you and your body when you saw the East Wing being demolished?
You know, it's not about me. It's about us and our traditions and what they stand for. I think in my body I felt confusion because I'm like, well, who are we? What do we value? And who decides that? That's the thing that's going through my head a lot lately. Who are we? What are the rules? Because I'm confused by what are our norms and our mores, not the laws, but how do we live together? That's the part of it that hurts. It's not the house. It's who I'm just trying to understand the assignment. And so I think I felt a loss for us as a nation. But personally, that's not our house. That's the people's house.
Let's see how Americans are feeling about the new
I bet they
the White House.
love it.
The Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll we were talking about earlier also found a majority of Americans do not support President Trump's ballroom at the White House. 56% oppose the project.
That coming.
Only 28% of Americans support that expensive new ballroom. 16% not sure yet.
Can I ask a question, Willie? Who is that 28%?
They love it.
Are these like MAGA people that are like having trouble like paying their car loans and paying their health care costs? And they're going, oh, I love the idea of the president deciding in the middle of this crisis and government shutdown to tear down half of the White House and put up a Marie Antoinette Memorial Ballroom.
I mean,
who are those 28%?
People ride or dies with Donald Trump.
Ride or die,
when the Washington
baby.
Post calls, you say, I'm with him. I'm with him. Independents, by the way, overwhelmingly against the ballroom. 61% of them.
Oh, my God.
Those people vote a lot. They oppose that addition to the White House. So, well, not a huge surprise there, but just now we see it in the numbers.
Yeah, and Sam Stein, I guess the question is, why? Again, with everything that's going on right now, is there no Republican that can go over to the White House and say, Mr. President, you're really not helping matters here?
Well, hold on 1 second. Let's wait and see what the polls look like after folks see the gold trimmings and the chandeliers. They haven't seen the final product, okay? This is premature.
That is true. That is true. And, maybe if they hold up their insurance premiums to the gold chandelier, maybe they see like a secret message in their lottery numbers. I don't know.
Honestly, this has been kind of mind-blowing to me.
It's mind-blowing.
I mean, the metaphor, obviously, of tearing down the White House is one thing, but, the building of a structure that's going to dwarf the White House and to have it financed by the biggest corporations in the world and have it, decked out in gold and dangle the possibility that it's going to be the Donald J. Trump ballroom. I mean, this isn't like genius stuff to realize that this is going to backfire on you. But Susan, I mean, you've been writing about East Wing and the White House and sort of the nostalgia that people actually feel for the institution and the building itself. Speak a little bit to that. I mean, it's just like voters look at this and they're like, wait a second, they're tearing history away from us.
The pictures of that backhoe were pretty dramatic. Tearing down one side of the White House. Every American who's gone on a White House tour has walked through the East Wing, down that long hallway with the wood paneling and the beautiful portraits. Right. It's something that not just people who go to state dinners have experienced. And it was at odds with what President Trump said this ballroom would be. He said it would be next to the East Wing, not replacing the East Wing. And he depicted it as something that would be a little less dominating than we think it's going to be. The number in that Washington Post poll that interests me the most, Republicans who support the ballroom, 62%. Now, that may sound like a lot, but for asking Republicans if they support something Donald Trump has done, the number to be only 62% is something we haven't seen on any other issue that he's been associated with.
Yeah, I mean, and Jonathan, I mean, it is important for us to say that the president has denied that he was going to call it the Donald J. Trump
if you believe
ballroom.
that.
But, you know, he also said he was not going to touch the existing structure. I want to show those numbers again of independents, because, again, all of this, again, we're doing this for a reason. All of this meshes together. Whether you're a New Jersey voter, whether you're a Virginia voter, whether you're voting out in California, whether you're a New York voter, you look at these independents, only 17%. You just don't see numbers this low. Support the president, just completely obliterating the East Wing of the White House. And again, history there, incredible history in the East Wing, but obliterating it. And then, you know, the proposed grand golden lined ballroom, the tone may be a little off.
Yeah, as we have, President Trump has a challenging relationship with the truth, but I would argue that perhaps one of his biggest lies ever would be that he would not name the ballroom after himself. In fact, we reported in the last week or so that he's already talking about what kind of gold font might use for the Donald J. Trump ballroom.
Yeah.
But no, it's the timing of this is everything else. It's to do it in the middle of a shutdown, to lie, to deceive the people about the nature of the project and the scope of it, to just tear it down. And first of all, as costs still high, inflation's still up, and as the government is shut down, and to do this and to provide Democrats with literally an on-the-nose metaphor of what you're doing as president by tearing down half of the people's house. And
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump wants to be a king. It's the best explanation for everything he's been doing just in recent days. Just look at what he's doing right now to the White House. That is, of course, the people's house. It's our house as Americans, as citizens. There it is. The residence of every president since John Adams in 1800. And that is more destruction the White House has seen since the troops for the British crown burned it down the War of 1812. Trump wants the White House to be a kingly palace, and so he is doing his own renovation. He's ripping up the East Wing to build a grand gilded ballroom unilaterally. No one in Congress was asked to appropriate funds for this. In fact, when I saw the plans announced, I assumed they'd smuggled it into the one big beautiful bill because, of course, they could have done that. They could have gotten congressional authorization. But no one even got a say.
We are going to make and build a ballroom, which they've wanted for probably 100 years at the White House. And it'll be a world-class, beautiful ballroom.
For 150 years, presidents, administrations, and White House staff have longed for a large event space on the White House complex that can hold substantially more guests than currently allowed.
It's going to be one of the best anywhere in the world. There won't be anything like it, actually.
I mean, it was pretty big before. We seemed to do okay as a country with it. Trump announced he was going to do that at the end of July. It was set to cost $200 million, which he said he would get from private donors, including Comcast, the current parent company of our network. Now, the cost has already swelled to $250 million. And by the way, no one talks about this when they report on this, but I just have to point out, there's a law in the books. It's from the 19th century. It's been updated multiple times. It's called the Anti-Deficiency Act, and it very expressly forbids spending money on government projects that have not been appropriated by Congress. Like, pretty black and white. So it's truly not clear this is at all legal. Trump also claimed that the new construction would not interfere with the existing structure. Well, he lied. Less than 3 months later, there are excavators tearing down the existing structure. And not just like cosmetic facades being removed. The entire eastern side of the White House is just gone, demolished. All, we should note, in the middle of a government shutdown, while more than 1 million civil servants go without pay. But presumably the person operating the backhoe is getting paid, because Trump can apparently hit up his donors to bankroll the demolition of the literal edifice of our democratic government. In this latest image from the Washington Post, you can see the entire eastern side of the White House is just gone.
I think we have to keep an eye on the ballroom, because the project has failed in the main aspect, which was that this was something Trump felt would get him praise and would be seen as something like nonpartisan that he could like point to, right? And let's be clear, in the grand scheme of things that Donald Trump is good at and bad at, designing stuff, like luxury spaces, he's better at that, or at least less bad at that, than he is being president. So hypothetically, I understand this was like, oh, I'm going to do this and everyone's going to love it. Everyone's going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to be my legacy. But that's already been shut down because the way he did it was utterly disrespectful to not only history and the meaning of the space being that it's not owned by him, that he's the, he lives there for 4 years, but it's not his White House. It belongs to you, the people, right? And him just tearing it down like this, and often, in some cases, removing anybody that would be, there to kind of stop this project, shows a fundamental disrespect. And so when people talk about this ballroom project as failing, they don't even necessarily mean that, like, on like the studs of the building. They mean it in like Donald Trump's effort to use this as a way to humanize himself and ingratiate himself to the public has failed, because it's yet another unpopular project. And I do think it's quite telling that people like Michelle Obama are bringing up both the practicalities and philosophy of why this is bad. It's not only a bad project at a time where Americans are struggling and it's not the best use of resources, it's the principle of it. It's the principle of him tearing down history to build his own version of it, disrespecting the people of the past, disrespecting past presidents. And I think Michelle Obama is probably the best person to deliver that message, because she respected her time in the White House. And Donald, I don't think, does.